بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. There's a very famous scholar, muhaddith, saint of the not too far past, distant past. His name is Maulana Zakaria Khandalvi rahmatullahi alayhi. And he's so famous in his teaching of hadith that he's known as Shaykh al-Hadith. When you have something very famous in one topic, it's known as the book. So for example, if you're talking about fiqh, the book, so al-kitab, what's the kitab in fiqh? Quduri. You're talking about nahu, so al-kitab is Imam Saybaway's kitab. So when you say Shaykh al-Hadith, that's a title which is applied to many people. But when you say Shaykh al-Hadith, you mean Maulana Zakaria Sahib rahmatullahi alayhi, Khandalvi rahmatullahi alayhi in our circles. Because he taught hadith for so long, so many students, he had such a profound effect and a lasting effect on generations to come. And today we're all indebted to him as well, because if you look, many of our teachers and their teachers, it links back to the Shaykh rahmatullahi alayhi. So for example, the madrasa I studied in was founded and run by Maulana Salim Zohrat Sahib hafidhahullah. He studied by Maulana Yusuf Mutala Sahib rahmatullahi alayhi, and he is a very close student of Maulana Zakaria Sahib rahmatullahi alayhi, Shaykh al-Hadith rahmatullahi alayhi. And Allah gave him, he done great works, Allah gave him great qabool. He's buried in Medina Munawwara, and I'm not sure exactly where, but very close to the graves of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum and Ummahatul Mu'mineen radiyallahu ta'ala anhunna. But he's very famous muhaddith, very famous teacher. But he wasn't a person who would give lots of lectures. He was more of a teacher. And nowadays, sometimes we get mixed up in this. So we kind of think of great scholars as, how do you grade great scholars? Number of followers. Now laymen, like, very confused. We think, oh, the more followers you got on YouTube, the more views you get, the more, like, they call it, dum daram takreef, like the more you can shout and do like a lecture, and you have like, you got like a presence, like this is the biggest scholar. That's not how scholarship works. So sometimes you see like a scholar, if he's like, I don't want to criticize anybody, but like, if he has time to like vlog his day and take a picture of his notes and everything, it's like, he's not that busy. Like me, I got time to make my videos. The real scholars don't have time to make the videos. They're so busy. They don't have time to make their videos. They don't have time to do all that kind of stuff. They're so busy. They don't have time for all of this. Like from morning to evening, they've got no time to vlog. They've got no time to post. And if you see any of their stuff, like somebody's writing it for them. That's how busy they are serving the people. So sometimes we make this mistake that only like online is actually the world. There's a whole other world apart from online. And the people do a lot of work. I'm not saying online is not got a fee. There's a benefit of this, but don't ever think that this is it. A lot of the groundwork that happens from maktab to teaching alif ba and aqaid and da'wah and all that, a lot of it happens off. So don't be deluded by what's online. I think, oh, this is it. This is everything. So nonetheless, he was a prolific speaker. He was a great teacher. So he went to one madrasa. And they requested him to give advice. So he said, okay. So it was very like a bit of like he's speaking today. Like we're not used to him giving a lecture or something. So he sat in front of the students in madrasa. So all the students. So obviously everybody's interesting. What's he going to say? Like, what's this? You never heard him give a bayan. He gives small little talks, little malfudat statements here and there, advice. He's lots of letters he used to write. But in terms of, so he sat on the chair or the mimbar or wherever he sat, and he was speaking to the children, the students. And from what I've heard, he speak like fast. So he speak like very fast and double up on these words. He said, "Bachcho, apni qadar kar lo." Now, oh my students, my advice to you, one advice is value yourselves. What's that advice? Just sit. And he sat down. That was the end of the bayan. Value yourselves. And this is such a profound, sometimes something very short becomes historic. So he said this, value yourself. What does this mean? That if you have to understand who you are, what your goal of life is, if you don't understand who you are, you can never behave accordingly. Sometimes, obviously, you mature at different ages. You don't expect a 4-year-old to behave like a 20-year-old. So 4-year-old has their own maturity. When you get 10, 12, like if a 10, 12 years not playing, you say, why don't you play? You need to run around, get exercise. You need to, if he's 10, 12 years, he doesn't laugh. So somebody who's 10, 12 years or 14 years is not laughing, he may have a problem psychologically. And somebody who's 18, 19 is like, he's in deathbed, he's not going to laugh that much. So there's a way to behave at each person. But nonetheless, at each stage is a maturity expected. And sometimes what happens, we get so carried away in maybe whatever external influences, lack of reality, we just lose touch. Like, we don't realize who we are. Yes, I know You're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. But like, you have to realize that, you are the future. Like, you might think, I'm young. But you are the future. Like, who else is going to take over? You have to become a father one day. You have to become a mother one day. You have to become the imam one day. Somebody has to run those schools. Somebody has to become teachers. Somebody has to become, like, the next generation is you. And if you just don't realize this, and you just keep, like, just thinking life as a play and games, like, just like a useless play and games, like, you don't understand, like, you're not going to do anything with your life. You have to understand, I'm going to be a father tomorrow. So how do I conduct myself that I'm a decent husband, that I can be able to gain the respect of my wife? I get somebody actually wants to marry me. I behave in such a way that the elders community say, this boy is somebody worth proposing to. The elders community say, this girl is somebody, if you got a good boy, this is a girl worth proposing to. You behave in such a way that people have an eye on you, that this person is a good, decent person. How do you learn how to conduct yourselves, that when you get married, you can earn the respect of your wife. You can earn the love of your husband. When you get married and you have children, and you have enough maturity, you can manage a house, you can interact with the elders, you can do things. Are you following me? You understand, you think that, okay, I'm going to be a father. If I finish my course, I'm going to be called a scholar. What does that demand from me? I may be not some expert I can teach, right, fatwa. I may not be expert I can teach tafsir, but I can, in a maktab, if I want to teach maktab, if I want to teach his class, then do I have the capacity to do this? Like I want to do this in my life. I want to be able to, okay, maybe I'm very clever, and I can go on to write books, I can go on to run a madrasa, I can go on to start some charity where I got this, maybe whatever capacity, you have to realize, what am I going to do with my life? And from now, start thinking down those lines. You know what I'm trying to say? So yes, you're 19, 18, you play football. But after you play football, you're going to mess around, you're going to laugh, you're going to have a tackle, you're going to have something here, and after that you come home, you realize, okay, now, it's time I'm going to college. So if you're going to college, we're going to college. That this is the purpose behind my going to college. If you're starting work, when you're at work, you work properly. Your madrasa has a purpose behind your studying. You conduct yourselves at home, you learn life skills. I am the next mother, I am the next father. I have to have certain characteristics. I have to get married. I have to earn from my family. I have to conduct myself with dignity. You have to learn that life is not just about games. Life is not just about a phone. Life is not just about messaging, TikTok, and that's not what life's about. I'm not saying, as I said, I'm not saying that I want to live a life which is beyond your maturity. At the age of 20, there's certain things that you have to do to get, have enjoyment, have the relaxation. But along with this, you have to understand, who am I? Where am I going? What am I going to achieve in my life? And if you don't mature, you don't become like a better person, then what you can do with your life? You all have to think this. It's not just, okay, so you have a joke, but after you realize, okay, you don't just misbehave like a child. You realize, okay, no, I'm 15, I have to behave like 15. I'm a hafiz of the Quran, so I have to behave like a hafiz of the Quran. I'm walking to madrasa with Quran translation in my hand, I have to behave like I have Quran translation in my hand. I have mishkat in my hand. I have to behave like this. I am now 22, so now I need to behave as if I'm 22. I'm 18, I have to behave like I'm 18, like an adult. I have the maturity, I am able to actually do things. We can't just have this immaturity where we just don't understand, like everything is like, you don't know how to speak to guests, you can't do a basic task. What are you going to do in your life? Your parents will not be able to be with you all the time. They can't run your life all the time. You have to take responsibility, you have to learn, you have to become good people of character and dignity and, whatever all these words you want to describe it. You get what I'm saying? Are you following me? So what I want you to do is this advice. Like, understand who you are. You're not just like when you're 14, you're playing, but that's not your life goal. That's something you're just doing because you need to do that at the age of 14, at the age of 16, at the age of 18. Now, but when you get older, okay, now, you should have in your mind, okay, I'm 18, but at some point I have to get married. So am I conducting myself in a way that where I can become a father, I can become a husband? I'm only 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to get married. Am I conducting myself in a way? Do I have the skills that I can run a house? Remember, life is very long. So now you want to be able to leave a legacy. You want to be able to, when you look back on your life, you've achieved something. You can say, you know what? I became a hafiz of the Quran, and I became a qari of the Quran, and I taught hundreds of kids in my lifetime. That I feel like, you know what? Alhamdulillah, I've achieved something. You may say, you know what? I didn't teach anybody, but I worked so hard on my family. I made one of my children a hafiz, one of them an alim. I taught them, and they're all set and they're all dignified, good people. But if you're yourself not dignified, how do you expect to have children who are going to be well trained? If you're only addicted to your phone, how are you going to teach your kids sabak? How are you going to teach them tawheed? How are you going to teach them love Allah and His Rasul? from now at the age of 17, 18, 19, all you do is just TikTok, TikTok, TikTok the whole day, then you don't have the capacity to talk to anybody. How are you going to form a relationship with your wife? How are you going to have a good marriage? How are you going to be able to, you're just addicted to your phone. Who's going to spend time with the kids? What are they going to become? You have responsibility in you. So from now, it's like you don't have to look after kids right now, but you have to train yourself that I am training myself to become a good member of community. I'm training myself. If you're a person in community, you don't have any, just litter. So littering is it's a sin, it's a bad thing, small, but that shows a bigger thing in it, that you don't understand that this is not character, this is not something that this is not a good person doesn't do this. Are you following me? Like a good person wouldn't do this on purpose. That shows inside of you carelessness. That shows inside of you just ghafil. Are you following? So all of these small things, you might think, oh, these are small issues. These are not small issues. These are indications of where you stand. If you come to Madrasa, I forgot a pen. Oh Allah, you forget a pen. We all forget. But it's like, oh, I don't have a pen. So if you have a pen, no, what's that big issue? It's a big issue is you're not responsible. You can't look after yourself. How can you look after somebody else? Are you following? Now because we have like, okay, 18 until 18 or 16, you're in secondary school. So you think until 16, I'm a child. 18, okay, I'm now a bit older. So like the maturity age, because of certain things, like you just feel like you're a child for a very long time. You're not a child. From the age of 15, according to all the fuqaha, you're baligh, meaning now you're responsible. If you miss salah, you'll be questioned on the day of Qiyamah. If your children teach you salah from the age of 8, 9, 10, 11, they're responsible. When you're 15, it's your job. If you don't wake up for Fajr, it's your responsibility. If you miss salah, that means it's your responsibility. Allah's going to ask you. Like for example, sometimes parents are calling the kids, why is your parent calling you for salah? Do you not have enough aql and intellect that you know it's salah time? It means you're not mature enough. If your parents have to tell you, pack your bag for school, while you're a little baby, do you know this much? If you make your bed, don't you know how to conduct yourself? How are you going to survive on your own? Are you following me? So what I'm trying to say is you have to understand, I'm not just here like, I just eat and drink and live like an animal with no purpose in life. I've got a purpose in life. So you have to understand this purpose. And according to this purpose, then you have to behave and grow into this. Do you understand? So you can't just live a life where you're just going through the years, you're not becoming a better person. You need to know how to all these life skills from the basics of how do you sit. Like you're sitting in your bed alone at night time, you spread your legs out and sit down. Or you lie down in bed. Your parents are with you. It's a bit different way of sitting down, a bit relaxed, but a bit different. You're in a masjid, how to sit. When you can use your phone, when you can't use your phone. When guests come to your house and you're in the bedroom. Don't you know how to interact with anybody? This is a basic, Islamic thing that you have to honor your guests. So a guest come to your house, you don't even know who your uncles are, you don't even know who your cousins are, you don't even know who your grandparents, your brothers are. This is not how you live in society. You have to have interaction. You have to know how to interact with people, how to deal with people, how to conduct yourselves, like how to give gifts, how to take gifts, how to become a lovable person, how to show love to others, how to look after your neighbors. Do you understand? So all of these things you have to learn because you're going to become a human being. Now remember, right now it's one person: Ismail, Abdurrahman, Abdullah, Hamza, Fulan. But then in 30, 40 years' time, you're going to be a father. You're going to be a grandfather in 30, 40 years, hopefully. And because of you and your offspring, you're responsible for 30, 40 people. By the time you die, you've affected, or you should have affected either positively or negatively, a whole generation, a whole group of people. So from now, you have to train yourself. From now, you have to become a better person. From now, you have to instill in this, what am I going to do with my life? Do you understand? Don't just sleepwalking thinking that you sleepwalk into your teens and into your 20s and 30s, swiping away on the phone. That's not a life. Do you understand? So what I want you to do is value yourself. Value who you are now and potentially what you can become. You understand? Potential. I want every single person, everybody downstairs, all the brothers downstairs, all the sisters upstairs, everybody online, that no, I want to do something with my life in this meaning, that I want to do the best with my life. I want to become a very, very good person, and whatever capacity I have, I benefit myself and I leave a legacy that all of those I can affect and touch, whether it's my children, my family, those that I work, those I interact with. I leave a positive effect on this. So when you go, you leave this world with a legacy left behind. And leaving a legacy behind is the wish of the Anbiya. What did Sayyidina Ibrahim say? وَجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ. That when I pass away, that Ya Allah, I want to leave behind a legacy that people can remember that Sayyidina Ibrahim, he was like an imam for the people. وَجْعَلْ لِي رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ imama, that you're an imam, that people follow you. So whether that means you follow you as a father, a mother, grandfather, grandmother, as a teacher, as an imam, as a whoever you may be, that you have people who learned from you, who you taught and who you influenced in a good way. And everybody from here to here and upstairs, downstairs, online, everybody has a potential. You have to earn you have to realize your potential. And don't let your life just wash away and waste away. Understood? Allah give us all to Subhanallah wa bihamdihi subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.